Janet, you have been in Hong Kong this time for almost a week. In the past few days, you went through 8 different sessions, 4 different places, and you met quite a few of us. What do you think of the Hong Kong raw community now?
Oh, fantastic. I just love everybody. It's great to meet up with people that I met before 2 years ago and see the progress with going into a more raw vegan lifestyle. And the response that we've got this time has been fantastic. So many people
came up to thank you.
Yes.
Just like that.
Yes, they
for
did.
Saving their lives.
Yes.
You know.
And at the Hong Kong Raw Festival, what a fantastic turnout. There were so many people coming.
Very
I was
crowded,
very surprised.
Wasn't it? Yes.
I was very surprised at such a great turnout, and everybody really interested and wanting to, listen to all the speakers. It was fantastic.
We didn't have a lot of money to promote it, you see. It's just people passing on the message, and then so many people turn up to well, of course you are the star attraction. You get the keynote address, and people were so touched.
Yes,
by your story, by your energy, and they admired your courage.
Yes, well, and I think too that people can relate to a personal story, of someone just sharing their experience, and that can almost be more helpful than listening to a lecture about something. I mean, you get wonderful advice and information that way, but to just hear from someone who's gone through an experience and can share that information, it really does make a difference for people. And for me too, it's wonderful to be able to share with so many people, and everybody here in Hong Kong so friendly and very warming welcome, and I just love being here, and you've done a fantastic job of putting the very positive message out there to the communities, and it shows, because when we first came there weren't so many people.
There were 3 years ago.
Very few people, and now it's just exploded, so it's wonderful to see, just great.
And now you've been to different parts of the world, meeting other communities, in Australia and recently in New York.
Yes.
How would you compare the Hong Kong scene to the international one?
Oh, well, I think Hong Kong is growing exponentially. Like it's, you can see more and more people are, wanting to know more, and they're also asking interesting questions. So the questions they're asking are more relative to their own environment and their own location, and that's great, because it means they're really thinking about about making changes to the lifestyle and how they can do that. Whereas I think elsewhere, most people kind of have that information, or they're looking more into just getting recipes and so on. Whereas here it's more grassroots, and people really want to get those details, which is wonderful that that they're getting them through the festival and through Greenwoods. It's fabulous.
Well, I can see that the people who attempt to lead a raw lifestyle now here or elsewhere belong to 2 different groups. One is the young, they're charming, they're vibrant, and they want more youthful experience, and it's trendy, and also they care about the planet. It's also quite altruistic. Yes. And the other half, I don't know, is, they are more sick. They are looking for quick fix to their terminal cancer or whatever, and they know that they have to shop around, and this is one option.
Yes.
In Hong Kong, I suppose at this stage we have more of the latter than elsewhere.
Yes, yes, I think that's true. There was certainly more in the audience, over the last 5 days, of people with health issues, varying different stages, some of cancer, some of other issues, and looking looking for some alternative answers, really, and things that they can do for themselves, which in itself is wonderful, that they're actually, reaching out and looking for that information, and now having the information, what's needed next is action on that information. And I think that's where, they're taking the responsibility by coming to the festival to get the information, coming to Greenwoods, going to the different, workshops that you're giving. And so, they're starting to actually take those steps forward, and you can see that happening, and it's wonderful to see that big change happening here.
I can see that in various parts of the world, people won't take on the message for one single reason, and that is the doctors won't agree. The doctors are simply, they do not buy this kind of simple salvation just by eating raw. We are not scientific. There's no evidence, and we have no credentials, so why should they trust us? The medical profession dominating the scene is controlled by the drug industry. Yes. They are in a way pushers of the drug industry, and this is the international scene. In Hong Kong, this is the case. But in addition to that, I can see, and that is the traditional Chinese objection to anything raw, and so we have two mountains to cross over instead of one.
Yes, that's very true. But again, fantastic to see, two doctors at the festival that were able to share, their views, and
one of them is an MD, a surgeon,
yes,
and the other one is holds a doctorate in Chinese medicine.
Yes, and both were definitely recommending and suggesting people take responsibility for their own health and look more towards a raw, vegan, conscious lifestyle. And that's fantastic. I think more and more people will start to do that, and perhaps more and more doctors will start to then look towards, recommending, that people take responsibility for our own health. And doctors are great to have if you break a leg or you need a surgeon, but we can take responsibility for our own health, and prevention-wise, as well as if we have a health issue. Just by giving the body what it needs.
But if you were in the Western society, you have alternatives. Your example is a good one. You are so lucky to have that naturopath, making the Portugal the plan for you. But in Hong Kong, I'm sorry to say that we don't have any alternatives. We don't have respectable doctors of any denomination to back you up and say, come on, there's an alternative. Well, so they can only trust people like me, but who am I to earn their confidence, especially that of the family?
Yes, it is difficult because, without having those facilities that naturopathic physicians offer elsewhere, not having that here, but again, it comes back to, taking responsibility for your own health. We can all make many decisions ourselves, getting the information and making the decisions to make really good conscious lifestyle choices. And certainly the dietary choices are an obvious one, but also other choices as well that you're recommending, as well, with meditation and yoga, and trusting in your own ability to come up with the answers for yourself and make a difference. I mean, even the doctor of Chinese medicine was mentioning that if we can just make changes from the lifestyle we've been leading that may have caused the issue, just make the changes. It's not so much about what you eat, how you eat, get the recipes. It's really about taking on those changes and believing in yourself and believing in your body's ability to reverse the situation. And wherever we are in the world, we can do that. We can make the difference. It can be hard if you can't get some of the you know, fruits and vegetables readily, but it's still there for us to make those changes in our mind and try and, you know, activate the changes that we make and the choices that we make.
All healing is self-healing. That is exactly what the mainstream medical people want us to understand. Well, I'm sure when you come again this way, you'll see more and more people thanking you and transforming their lives. Well, your life was transformed in 2001, and mine was 10 years later when I turned totally raw. Now, I'm very grateful for such opportunities, and thank you for coming. Thank you for blessing us with your energy and your message. Come more often. See you more.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to be here. And thank you for what you're doing.